Hello my students, our session today is the third chapter of the novel. Let's start with these questions as revision. Question number 1. How did the stranger help Dr. Manette on board the boat? The answer is, with Mr. Lure's help, he gently moved Dr. Manette to a place which was driest and most sheltered on the deck. Question number 2. What was Charles Darnay accused of? He was accused of giving information to the French government about the movements of the English army and of being an enemy of the nation. Question number 3. Comment. I hope that I won't repay his kindness today by doing him any harm. These words were said by Lucy to the lawyer when he asked her if she had seen Darnay during her journey on the boat. Again, these words were said by Lucy to the lawyer when he asked her if she had seen Darnay during her journey on the boat. And now, let's turn to the summary for this chapter. Mr. Darnay, Mr. Carton, and Mr. Stryver came often to the Manette's home. Also, Mr. Lorry was a regular visitor. Mr. Lorry asked Lucy if her father told her anything about his years in prison, but she said that her father said nothing about that time. Charles was now working in England as a teacher of French. In fact, Charles was a French aristocrat, and since the recent death of his uncle, he had become the Marquis of Evermont. Again, he had become the Marquis of Evermont, and the word Marquis here means a nobleman, like the Duke or the leader. Charles was ashamed of the way his father and his uncle lived, taking land and money from the poor. Charles' mother begged him to live well and kindly and to make amends for the cruelty of his father and his uncle. The word amends means to change bad things to a better one. The word amends here means to change a bad thing to a better one. Charles asked the man called Gabel to take control of the castle of him and take the smallest taxes possible. Charles told Dr. Manette that he loved Lucy and wanted to marry her. Dr. Manette refused to know anything about Charles' real name or his fact. Carton said that he was intelligent, but he couldn't do useful work. He ate poorly, slept little, and wasting his life. Carton told Lucy that there was a man who would give his life to save a life she loved. Let's turn to the questions for this chapter. Number 1. What was the Manette's house in London like? That was a pretty house. The furniture was simple and the colors were restful to the eyes. Mr. Darnay, Mr. Carton, and Mr. Stryver, and also Mr. Lorry were regular visitors. Number 2. Comment. Does your father ever talk of his time in the French prison, my dear? Mr. Lorry asked Lucy this question when he found the shoemaking tools were still there at the doctor's room. She answered that it was terrible for him to remember. Number 3. How had Charles Darnay changed after the trial? He became a teacher of French and lived in Cambridge and in London. What secret did Darnay hide from the Manettes? That he was a French aristocrat, and since the recent death of his uncle, he had become the Marquis of Evermont. Number 5. Why was Darnay ashamed of his family? Because they were taking land and money from the poor. They have been hated by the local people to whom they showed no kindness or pity. Number 6. How did Charles Darnay amend for the cruelty of his family? The answer is, he asked the man called Gabel to take control of the castle and to charge no rent to the people and to ask for the smallest taxes possible. Number 7. Comment: I love your daughter dearly, but I haven't written to her or spoken to her because I wanted to talk to you first. These words were said by Darnay to Dr. Manette. He confessed to him that he loved Lucy too much and that he wouldn't separate between them if he married her. And now you have to read the text by yourselves and answer these questions. We just read them. Number 8. What promise did the doctor give to Darnay? Number 9. Comment: tell me when I ask you, not now. Number 10. What does Carton think of himself? Number 11. Comment: I'm sure that you can live a better life for yourself. Number 12. Show that Carton had a devoting character, and the word devoting here means to give most of your time, energy, or attention to somebody or something. And thanks a lot.